Go, go!
It's finally here. Yes, that's right, you read the title correctly. The first trailer for Attack on Titan Season 4 has dropped. It was really something to wake up to when it did, and I'm ready to talk about it. Fair warning, this video contains massive spoilers for the manga and for Season 4. So if you don't want to be spoiled, click off this video right now. The trailer opens up with a shot of what appears to be Falco. We get our very first wide shot of Marley and... Okay, before we go any further, I need to address this new animation. Season 4 sadly won't be animated by Wit Studio like the previous seasons were. Instead, it'll be animated by MAPPA Studio, who are responsible for animes like Yuri on Ice. Here's my opinion on the animation. The characters, especially Mikasa and Sasha, look gorgeous. I'll be showing them later in the video. There's also a shot of Gabby where her eyes look very detailed and beautiful. It reminds me of how their eyes looked in Season 2, and I love that style. Originally, I did have mixed feelings on the backgrounds, but then I learned that this trailer is only pre-animated, meaning this isn't even the final result. So what we're currently seeing is going to look 100 times better when the season actually releases. Taking in that factor, I'm not going to spend this video judging the animation. Instead, I want to just talk about each thing we're shown and analyze it. After a few war shots, we see the Jaw Titan properly for the first time, and I gotta say, he looks incredible. I really appreciate the movement they gave to him as well. There's a pretty drawn-out scene of Reiner and Eren talking, but what's really ominous about the way they edited this moment is how we never see Eren. We see Reiner trying to kill himself, and we see flashbacks of the two back when they were comrades. But they're keeping Eren hidden. That is masterful, and I really appreciate it, because we're not being shown everything. We also don't see shots of Kiyome or pregnant Historia, so I like that the trailer is keeping some things a surprise. The next shot is personally one of my favorites so far, and it shows Eren's Titan form from what I'm assuming is the Warhammer battle from chapters 101 and 102. I absolutely love the lighting they used for this shot here, how everything is dark except the Titan lightning right below Eren from transforming, illuminating him in an almost monster-like way. It actually gives me some Godzilla vibes, and I'm honestly enjoying that. The Warhammer also looks really good. There's some really nice detail drawn into it, and I'm happy to see effort still being put into animating these Titans, considering how many new ones are going to appear in Season 4. We start getting some really quick shots of the characters, and as soon as it showed Sasha, I legit wanted to cry. Even though Sasha's been killed in the manga for almost 2 years now, which is insane to me, it still hasn't fully sunk in that she died, at least not for me. And I know it won't fully sink in until I see it animated. So seeing this shot of her older, there is something incredibly haunting about it. And I think it's because anyone who's read the manga, they know what's in store for this character. Next, we get what I've been waiting for. My girl, Mikasa. Over the past 2 years, we've gotten some of the most beautiful fan art of Season 4 Mikasa. So seeing an actual canon animation of her feels strangely relieving. There was such gorgeous fan art online that part of me worried she wouldn't be drawn as well in the actual anime. But seeing this shot, I'm incredibly happy with how she looks. I love how intense her eyes are, and in my opinion, the anime really showcases how good she looks with a pixie cut. While I'll always prefer her usual hairstyle, this still looks amazing. Don't come for me, Tokyo Ghoul fans, but she honestly rocks it better than Toga when it comes to this style. This also leads me to discuss Mikasa's scarf. In this shot, we don't see it, but in the manga, she is supposed to be wearing it in this scene. This leads me to believe one of two things. Either it's simply tucked under her new uniform, that is 100% possible, or the new studio changed her scarf to black. This would be strange, considering her scarf is kept red for 3 seasons, basically the majority of the anime. Changing the scarf to the manga color now would simply confuse anime-only viewers and create consistency problems. It's basically too late to be doing that. For that reason, I'm just going to assume her scarf is tucked under her uniform. Armin looks really good as well. though I will admit I would have preferred to see him move a little bit more. I do love how you can clearly see in his features he's much older though. We got a few shots of Levi fighting the Titans in the woods, and I think it's obvious this is the moment when Zeke releases them all on him, and it ends with Levi nearly getting killed. Then finally, we get a shot of Eren.
This will never work! This is a disaster! How will we ever control him? We're doomed!
To be honest, as good as this shot looks, I do have mixed feelings on it. I'm not entirely sure if I liked that the very first shot they showed of adult Eren was basically an eye candy moment for rabid fangirls. It does concern me a shot like this will draw on even more cringe to this fandom. I would have preferred we saw a shot of adult Eren from chapter 101, maybe when he's talking with Mikasa. We also got a shot of Armin as a Titan. It goes by pretty fast, but I like how we can see just how different the Colossal Titan looks from when Bertolt possessed it. We also see quite a few shots of Titan Eren, and I noticed, especially in the daylight shots, his Titan is much more muscular than ever. I genuinely don't recall his shoulders looking like that in previous seasons. With Eren being a young adult now, it doesn't surprise me his Titan has only become stronger. Now this is where I'll be talking about the really interesting parts of this trailer, and stuff you might have missed. Towards the end, we get a series of really fast moments, where you have to slow the clip down in order to catch everything, and oh boy, do they sneak quite a lot in here. We get a shot of Bertolt, Reiner, and Annie as children in Marley, along with Armin visiting Annie's crystal. But I mainly want to talk about 6 main shots that I feel are the most interesting. We get a moment of Titan silhouettes eating people over what looks like some kind of curtain. But does it look familiar? It should if you're a die-hard fan who follows all the news of the manga/anime religiously like myself. A while back on Twitter, we had gotten a leak of the final Anime Expo motion manga that took place in Japan. It showed certain things that are going to happen towards the end, and plays the famous final manga chapter audio. It took the fandom by storm when it comes to theories, and I am mind blown they actually showed it in the first trailer. While we know this image is also seen from chapter 100, it's still interesting to me how similar it looks to the manga motion. In a blink or you'll miss it moment, we see Levi after his battle with Zeke. This is from the infamous chapter 115, where it's implied Levi was killed. While we know he survived, and while his scar is hidden, it's still disturbing to see him in this state, especially animated. We actually get a few quick shots of Ymir throughout this section, and to be honest, they all look gorgeous. For non-manga readers, I'm not referring to this Ymir, I'm referring to Ymir Fritz, the very first Titan shifter who's only recently been freed from her prison by Eren. This is possibly the most gruesome and eerie shot in the entire trailer. It's clearly another flashback of Grisha's sister being eaten by dogs. And as well drawn as this moment is, I do find it a bit random they'd include it in the trailer like it's something we haven't seen already. We already got the full flashback about Grisha's sister near the end of season 3, so while it's a cool shot, it's really random. The final quick shot shows this extremely beautiful glowing tree with Eren standing in front of it. This seems to be the moment where Eren time travels through those paths and alters everything. I noticed this series of quick shots ends with this image, and I find that incredibly fitting. I gotta admit guys, I am extremely impressed with this trailer. And considering they released it now, I think it's safe to assume season 4 won't be delayed, despite everything going on right now. While I do admit the new animation style will take some getting used to for some fans, and part of me worries MAPPA showed a little too much in this trailer, I have extremely high hopes for this final season.